That was bizarre.
Yeah.
Like, that was crazy stuff.
Chaos.
I mean, Mickey Rourke, what was that all about?
I don't even, what was this? I was expecting more. But who knows when time goes on.
You're like, snog.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
like,
But that's why I think it's going to be one of the best series yet, because they've got some proper little masterminds there. This is the Sun's Celeb Big Brother Breakdown. We'll be breaking down all the action for this year's star-studded series. Now, today, I'm joined by Bazaar's Howell Davies and presenter and podcaster Will Njobvu. Ooh. And they're with me to get into all of the launch night action and chaos.
absolute chaos, right? Last night.
I mean, Mickey Rourke, what was that all about?
I don't even know. Like, where do we even begin? Where do we start? Should we start from the, I mean, who walked in first?
Chesney Hawkes, the one and only.
Yeah.
The one and only. Do you know what? I think overall, the cast this year is just brilliant. Like, it does feel a bit older this year, but do you know what? It feels more household namey this year. Not that there were like the celebs last year, you know, weren't household names, but it just feels very nostalgic as well. Like, I'm loving that Trisha Goddard has walked in there. And do you know what? Like, my heart really warmed. Like, I know this is like a bit dramatic, but like on TikTok, I've been seeing a lot of people, like, especially young people, like speak about how they've been diagnosed with cancer. And I always watch them like, how'd you do it? Trish has just said, you know what? Like, I've got terminal cancer, but I'm actually still going to live my life and go on this TV show.
Yeah.
I just think like the casting this year has been brilliant. Like, just from beginning to end.
Absolutely. I mean, I know that when we were at the Sun, we were writing about the names that we were finding out from our sources. And certainly to start with, we were hearing the usual kind of bits and bobs. So the Corrie star is always expected, a Towie star. But then in the last weeks when the biggies were coming in, so when we heard Mickey Rourke, I think...
Well, it was the day Flick said Jojo Siwa. I was like, hold
That's
on a sec. Because this
crazy.
is like not someone you'd expect to be on ITV. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like, okay, this is an interesting name. And then Mickey Rourke, I mean, there's loads of really interesting people in there now. I think.
Yeah.
I wonder how last minute Jojo Siwa was, because I'm so sorry, I didn't hear this name until like near the launch.
Yeah, it all sort of spiraled in the last couple of days, where we were hearing through our sources that this person had signed out that person, and there was a couple of people who they wanted and it didn't quite get across the line, such as Macy Gray, who would have been incredible.
That would have...
But look, not taking anything away from the final 13 that went in.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I need to talk about Mickey first, because...
Let's get into it then.
He's-
Right, fine. Yeah, I was trying to give the benefit of the doubt, but cool.
No,
what are
Will,
we thinking, everyone?
I'm in charge and we're talking about Mickey.
Let's do it. What are we thinking?
So for me, obviously, he's the kind of household name that everybody knows who he is. We know about his reputation as a hellraiser. We know about the women, the partying, the boxing, but we don't really know the man. So what was your first impression based on last night?
My first impression was, yeah, Jackie. Like, he was giving Jackie Stallone to me, you know?
He was.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think it's 20 years this year since Jackie Stallone went in. I was like, it's like history repeating itself. You know, it's like a bigger Hollywood star who looks like they have absolutely no idea what's going on. They think that they were walking into like a hotel, I think. It looked like he got out of the car and was like, where am I? He saw AJ and thought, oh yeah, this is a nice woman. Maybe like this is the show. He didn't know what was going on, did he? Like, and I feel like he might get himself cancelled in that house very quickly if his behaviour with AJ is anything to go by.
So have you met AJ before?
Oh, yeah, I know AJ.
And
That's my girl.
so knowing AJ, was her reaction in that moment real? Because Mickey was twirling her, he was ogling her, Mickey Gawk, I like to call it.
I think AJ reacted how she probably felt. She literally said, stop looking at me. And that's probably how she felt. She had a job to do, you know, millions of people were ever watching. And I think she held herself together really, really well.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, but guys, I felt so uncomfortable watching that.
Yeah.
Like, it made me feel really like this isn't the 80s or the 70s. Like, what is actually going on? Like, we've progressed so far for this to be happening on television. Obviously, you know, like, it's not like the channel's fault, it's not AJ's fault, but it's like, how can you think that you can come on a television show and behave like that towards a woman? And like, I made a video about this on TikTok last night, and some people were like, well, he was only looking. Well, it's like, it's not just looking. There's a difference between saying to a woman, oh, you look great today, and then like, you know, looking them up and down. It's like, babe.
It was a lot.
It was a lot.
We've heard actually from some audience members who were there last night on some scenes that didn't make it to telly.
Ooh.
So one thing that we can reveal is that AJ, after they'd managed to obviously physically manhandle him into the house, shepherding him like a cat, AJ said to the audience, I'd have done this, and she mimed kicking him. So obviously she was trying to laugh it off, but then we're hearing that she was quite quiet after that link. And usually her and Will, you've been to one of these evictions, haven't you?
Yeah.
The banter between them carries on, doesn't it?
Yeah,
but much quieter and clearly quite affected.
Yeah, because I guess it's like, she's got to push on and do the job. And like, I'm so sure that maybe in all of her years of TV presenting, she's never experienced anything like that live. Like, that was bizarre.
Yeah.
Like, that was crazy stuff.
So just quickly, is Mickey Walk going to happen? How long do we think he's going to last?
I don't know. I feel like he's more likely to get kicked out and cancelled than walk, but who knows?
But, I don't know. Do you know what? I feel like Big Brother or producers would have had like an off-the-record chat with him just to be like, look, maybe don't. Because at the end of the day, it makes the show look bad as well, like if he's continuously behaving like that, because they have booked him. So I just have this like idea in my mind that maybe they've had a chat with him and maybe he'll calm down and then we'll get some of the performance that the producers expected.
Yeah.
So maybe he might last.
Yeah.
Maybe that was like a bit of a glitch and we might grow to love him.
Yeah.
Because look, at the end of the day, this is a show where we are watching these celebs at length. We're watching them like, that was like an edited launch night. So we might actually grow to love him, Who knows?
We might do, but I feel like there's plenty of other people who are like more likely to win the nation's hearts,
Yes.
I just do not see myself warming to him because he seems like a grumpy old man.
He does seem like a grumpy old man. I don't even know why I was defending him. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, why?
Okay, let's move on and talk about someone that's the opposite of a grumpy old man, Jojo.
Yes.
Now, you guys are going to have to educate an old gal on this. Ooh. Who is she? Why do we care? How has she got 80 million social media followers?
Jojo C was just iconic, and like even her entrance was so electrifying. Like, could you feel the electric through that screen?
She is a ball of energy, isn't she?
She is a big ball of energy, but could she win though?
I don't think she could win, but I think she'll be good entertainment and she'll wind people up. She'll be a bit annoying in there. And I think
what
it's
are her
really...
credentials though, Howell? Who is she? Give me her CV.
She's done loads of TV and she's like, been famous since she was a little child.
Right.
But only in the last few years, she came out. She's launched a proper pop career. She had this song Karma last year, which was really big. She played at Mighty Hoopla. And I do think it's really funny that obviously Jedward, big celebrity Big Brother stars back in the day, they said last night that they met her at Mighty Hoopla backstage last year. Obviously, can you imagine the three of them together? It's a headache waiting to happen, but love them all, obviously. Yeah. But they said that they encouraged her to do Celebrity Big Brother. And I think that is genius because if anyone is going to give tips on how to do well in Celebrity Big Brother to someone like Jojo Siwa, it's Jedward,
Be incredibly annoying.
No, but they're all lovable, I think. Like, I think we will see another side of her. I think people think of her as being this like really crazy sort of grating personality online. But, being like that on TikTok or in interviews and stuff is very different from how you are all the time, in your day-to-day life.
Yeah. That takes me to Patsy Palmer, right? Because I have a theory on her in that people know her as Bianca Jackson. They love that Ricky EastEnders vibe.
She's going to be doing Mickey!
She should. Because I don't think we want to know the real Patsy.
I think she seemed quite grumpy last night.
Okay, so
go.
This is a really good point. So when I saw her slam the laptop on that interview, I think it was on Good Morning Britain.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just get the vibe that, maybe she would get annoyed by things quite quickly, but this isn't a bad thing because these celebs are humans and that's the whole point of the show. So, whether she's grumpy or not, we still might grow to love her more because she's just showing us the real side. We're not seeing Bianca. We're not seeing, we're seeing the real Patsy.
Yeah. Well, last night on Late and Live, Alan Carr said that he'd starred on The Celeb Apprentice with her back in the day. Yeah. And she does not mince her words. She stands by what she says. And certainly that's what we've heard backstage on the likes of Dancing on Ice, which is an ITV show that she did a couple of years ago. She's not Bianca Jackson, she's Patsy Palmer. And I think that we're going to see that different side. And I don't know if she's going to come out
what
for
are we
the same
trying to
reaction.
say here? Like, let's just dig a bit deeper. Are we trying to say that, the sources have told you guys that maybe she's
diva.
A bit of a diva, really?
Well, I mean, if anyone deserves to be a diva, it's Patsy Palmer, right?
She's a diva shit.
Or, diva, or maybe she stands on business. She stands on what she personally believes in and she stands on her personal values.
Yeah.
which isn't a bad thing.
Nice. Okay. Someone else who stands on business, I guess.
I love that feat.
Michael Fabricant.
Yeah.
Right.
I was ready to hate him. And then found myself laughing at his VT.
The trouble is, this always happens. We've seen it with Nigel Farage and we've seen it with Matt Hancock on I'm a Celeb, right?
Yeah.
They go in and we want to hate them. And then we end up thinking like, they're kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like he is a ridiculous character. He's like a caricature of Boris Johnson, isn't he? You know? So I think it will be funny. And I just can see him like hitting it off with like Jojo Siwa. Like, let's do a bucket list. Like, I reckon they'll probably have a song together by the end of the year, you know? Like, something wild's going to happen with him because he's just crackers.
Yeah.
Like the hair and the like, it's a lot.
The audience chanting wig, wig, wig.
Honestly,
Went in.
but do you know what? I mean, like, I'm still planning to hate him at the moment, but you know, let's see how it pans out.
Yeah.
I also didn't realize he was a bi king, so I don't know if there's any gay men or bi men in there who he might get with.
I didn't know this.
Shout out to the West Midlands LGBTQ party, or whatever it was he said. I mean,
Conservative watch-along party. Yeah,
diversity. There's been a bit of a kerfuffle on Towie because none of them can understand why Ella, who's pretty new to the scene, has been booked for CBB.
I read about this.
But based on her entry last night, I get it. She's glamorous. She's now single.
Yes. And she's got this star factor energy. But you know what? You're right. I mean, like, I've met Ella, lovely girl. I think I met her at the ITV Palooza once. But yeah, I think she's fairly new to Towie. So I think I was a bit surprised. But sometimes that's what we need. Chuck somebody new in. Let us get to know someone new.
I also just think it's good that we've got another young person in there because I do think, you know, Jojo Siwa's 21 and there's a lot of people who are a lot older in there this year. So I think having Ella in there is quite nice. I think she's 25, right? So it's like, okay, we've got some people who are similar age because then it's a bit of a jump up in ages, really, you know? So I think it's nice to have a few youngies in there.
So was there jealousy among the Towie cast? Because some of them must have been like, I think I read this in the paper, maybe The Sun. I think some of them must have been like, why is she going on?
Yeah.
We've been on this show for years.
Defo, there's so many like Towie legacy stars that have never been anywhere near CBB, haven't even had a sniff of a talk. And then Ella gets whisked on. And do you know why I think that's happened?
Why?
Because she used to date Pete Wicks.
Oh.
It's all who you know, isn't it? Or who you've...
Well, good, because maybe she'll spill some tea on what, you know, like what Pete Wicks is like as a boyfriend and all that stuff, and that'll be quite interesting to know.
I do think very often with these shows, they don't just pick the person for who they are, they pick the person based on the stories that they can tell. I mean, Louis, classic example.
Yeah.
Someone who, for example, could do that is Angelica Bell. Another story that we ran this week is her famous friends, because she's got loads, I don't know if you knew this, had said to her, don't be talking about us in that Celebrity Big Brother house.
Really?
Yeah, so Alan Carr's one of them. Adele is one of them.
Wow.
And they said, don't be doing a Louis Walsh on us.
Oh my. No, you know what? Angelica Bell had this like fancy BBC energy when she got on stage. Like, I think we're just going to get this really like happy-go-lucky, fun person.
I would love her to unravel though.
Oh.
CBBC to just...
I was beaming though when she was doing her like little VT, and then when she went in, she was bounding along because like that is my childhood. Like I watched her on CBBC as a kid and loved her, and she just seems to have like the most warm, lovely energy. I'm kind of surprised she's done it because I feel like she, you know, hasn't really done much reality TV, not in this such a, you know, full-on way. So I think it'll be interesting, but I hope she doesn't unravel.
No.
I'm surprised she did this show actually, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I mean, it's fine. It's good. But I'm just surprised that she did it.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll tell us why.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it's the paycheck.
Maybe. I mean,
Probably,
I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just surprised that she's done this show.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe it's the paycheck. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then look, it means that we get to know her, I guess, a bit more away from the TV hosting.
Yeah.
And then we get to know her a bit more. Maybe that could be why.
Exactly. Same situation with Jack P. Shepherd. People just know him as David Platt.
Exactly.
Although he unashamedly said, I am basically just like David Platt. So we look forward to some murder, some misery. But the one person I'm really desperate to talk about just because of the potential here is Chris Hughes.
Yes.
Now, I love a reality TV show, Mance. And Ella and Chris surely know that that's why they're there, right?
I predicted this. I've said this. I'm happy you've said this as well.
Yeah.
I can see this happening. I was watching, so when, I think who walked in? I think Ella walked in after and they greeted each other. But it was quite like a diagreeing. I'm like, what was this? I was expecting more. But who knows when time goes on.
You're like, snog.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
like
I think it was obvious in the way it was so brief, the high.
So you
Other
watched,
people,
so
there
you
was a
looked at that as
longer-
well. So you...
Defo. And look, Chris knows that he isn't going to be the most interesting person in that house because Chris was a finalist on Love Island because of Olivia, right? Yeah. Their relationship being what it was. He was there on Olivia's wing, right? He knows he's getting airtime probably by having a romance, probably by finding a bromance, that kind of thing. He's with one of those big media agencies that are very good at this kind of thing. He's there to get the airtime. Same with Ella. She knows she's been on X on the Beach even. She's been curated in this reality TV romance lab.
And I feel like they'll know that they need to sort of perform. They need to cause some drama. They need to do something in there, you know? Whereas the others, you know, like Patsy Palmer, she's just there for a ride, right? She's not going to be purposely trying to cause drama because she's just like, you know, she probably will because it seems like that's her MO, but you know.
Whereas in Ella, Chris and Jojo, I think ITV has really carefully popped 3 little producer plants. They will be able to suggest this, do this. They know about how to sort of steer a storyline. But that's why I think it's going to be one of the best series yet because they've got some proper little masterminds there. And can't wait for the romance.
Did we get a romance from the last CBB?
No.
I don't think we did.
Have you met Chris as well?
I actually don't think I have, you know.
I saw him at my gym a couple of times, but I've not met him.
Those eyes, bewitching.
Really?
I see the vision.
Right.
I see the vision.
I mean, I'm a fan, but
I see the vision.
I'm probably in the Facebook mum kind of category of voters. But we all know that we're in a bit of a bubble, right? In that, for example, we thought Yin Run would win the civilian series. And actually, we need to remember that CBB is a program that attracts so many different viewers from 7 up to 70. And that's why I think this is anyone's to win.
I mean, I also think, you know, we haven't really touched on Trisha yet, but her story is so amazing and inspiring. And I do just think straight from the off, that was a great story and there's like a good reason for her to win just from that.
And think of all the showbiz stories she has from like all the years of hosting she's done.
Yeah, even like every single person who came in, she had a story with them. So it's like, you know, there's going to be plenty of other stars that she's got stuff with.
Sorry, not to bring it back to TikTok, but someone commented my TikTok video last night. They were like, I used to work with Trisha in the 70s. We used to be like they used to work on the airplane, like air cabin people, like air hostess.
Wow.
I'm like, she used to do that job before. Like, tell us the stories.
Yeah.
Oh, Trisha, I'm sorry. And what you said, I 100% agree with like her story, like the fact that she's come on this show, like she's got cancer. Like so many people are going to be watching this because it's like, I mean, like I had a cancer scare recently, right? I don't have it, but I thought to myself, like, how would I even live my life? How would I continue to move forward?
Yeah.
But watching that, I'm like, what? Like, she's proper like going on with it, regardless of the diagnosis. Like, that is so powerful. And I feel like, as I said earlier, like, I'm just seeing, like, hearing more and more. And I've even seen stats about like the rising cancer cases in the UK. And like, so many people will watch that and be like, do you know what? She's living her life, so I'm going to live mine.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
It's really inspirational.
Just the casting alone, like even she just sat there silent. Like it's just a powerful casting now.
Yeah. Another person that's got special measures, special treatment, Mickey.
Oh, has he? What's he got?
A gym.
A gym?
The gym is there for
Why?
Mickey. So Mickey, he loves his training, doesn't he? And I think when you're a star like Mickey Rourke, you can ask for a gym.
I guess
right?
you can.
But are everyone else going to be able to use it, or is it exclusively for his use?
I guess they'll leave that up to Mickey. Right, so we know that we've got our first eviction on Friday.
Yes.
Howell,
Soon.
who would you be nominating?
Gosh, that's a horrible question. Who would I be nominating? I just feel like, personally, I wouldn't have anything in common with Chris Hughes. I don't know whether his eyes
Let him cook. Like, give him like some time.
Well, if I have to nominate, I mean...
Yeah.
So I think him and probably Michael Fabricant, because I just would find him too irritating. I think he would grate on me too much. And I reckon he just has a lot of dad jokes in him. And I think that would get old really quickly.
Yeah.
So I think probably those two.
Okay, valid.
Get Michael and Mickey out at the moment.
Okay.
And my reason is just that you can't do AJ like that on launch night. I'm so sorry. We've not seen anything else, right? I've not seen the episode. And
Okay.
get rid of the wig.
Yeah. So I am one of these people that is all about the plot.
Right. That's why I want to
I
keep
like
Mickey
this
in.
way of thinking.
I would
that.
absolutely be leaving Mickey in.
Okay.
And I would absolutely be leaving Chris in because I want this romance.
Yeah. I see the vision.
Yeah.
I see.
So for me at this stage, it's the people who we've seen less of. Doesn't mean that they won't grow, but Daley Thompson,
Oh,
we've not talked about him.
That's so true.
Donna Preston, we've not yet talked
That's
about.
so true. Yeah, yeah.
And I think this is my appeal to the British viewing voting public. Keep the game changers in. Do not get rid of them because we need them for the next 3 weeks because this has all the potential to be one of the best CBBs ever.
It is very true because, Daley yesterday on his VT basically said that he's like a grumpy dad, right? And I'm like, okay, is that going to make good TV? I'm not sure. But I feel like he might like flip out and it might be great TV. But
I hope so.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Who knows?
I know.
But 3 weeks isn't enough for this cast. I feel like a month or 6 weeks would have been better.
Yeah.
3 weeks isn't enough. And when we get to week 2, will they do like evictions? How many evictions will there be like midweek and stuff?
I think that they very much just go with the flow.
Yeah.
Follow the plot.
Yeah.
Which we know will be plotting. So we'll see. But we definitely know the first eviction is Friday. We definitely also know that they have this power that they are giving to people as part of the launch night task. So quick recap, there's power of immunity, guardian angel, which Mickey has, and he can gift immunity to another housemate. And then there is killer nomination. So we'll see how that all unravels. Very smart move from Mickey choosing guardian angel because he's automatically creating an ally, right, in the person that he saves. So maybe Mickey wasn't that drunk. Maybe Mickey's actually playing us all.
Hey.
I'm not sure about that. That's the craziest theory I've ever heard.
I mean, I believed it for a split second. I was like, hold on, what? Like, maybe she's right.
Am I the Mickey fan club?
I think you are.
Did that just happen?
Oh, God.
I'm applying
That's
to be
not the
wife
side.
number 5.
You're a rock and roller.
That's not the side you need to be choosing right now.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
I'm on AJ's side for sure. So who do you think will go on Friday?
Ooh.
Yeah, who will actually go?
I think it's hard because you just don't know who they're going to put up for eviction, right? It's so soon on. Who's going to grate on the most in the house? I feel like maybe Michael will rub people up the wrong way quite quickly. And I don't really know if people will vote to keep him in. Although I think he would make good TV. So.
But Hancock, Farage, they
True.
were voted for and they're cast from the similar pool, aren't they?
True.
Do you know what? Like, I actually want this person to get far, but I'm thinking about the dynamics of the house, like the reality of it, not just what I want. How will people take to Trisha? Because, like, I do feel like Trisha is, like, the vibe I get from her is, like, again, stands on business, her own values, also quite opinionated and says what she thinks. How will that pan out throughout the week?
I think
like,
she's too nice. I think, although she said in her VT, I'm not here to be mother, I'm like, you are mother. You will be mother.
No, but yeah, we'll see. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm thinking back to remember when she was guest hosting Good Morning Britain a couple of months ago? Like, I loved that performance because I feel like she was just like her own. She wasn't taking nothing from nobody. And I think that Alan Carr said this on Late and Live last night, that he's done shoots of her and she's very much like, you know, stands on business, like firm ground, like not taking like, you know, no for an answer. So it's like, I do feel like I like that, but it's more about how will other people receive that and will they nominate her? I don't know. We'll have to see how it pans out.
Who do you think's most likely to have a Vanessa Feltz style chalkboard meltdown?
Ooh, from their personalities.
I think Patsy.
Yes,
Patsy. That's a good one.
100%. I think she keeps going on about how much she loves meditation. I feel like if she doesn't have her like 5 minutes of Zen in the garden, she's going to blow her top, you know?
Yeah, guys, I think Patsy, I can't think of anyone else who would proper like, no, I think it's going to be Patsy, Or maybe Trisha.
Poor Trisha. No, my favourite thing that Trisha did last night was she made sure she got those royalties from Chesney's album by immediately asking him about his new comeback album, so Chesney could quickly plug that. So.
She said, haven't you got an album coming out? And it's actually already out. It came out on Friday. Available now on all good iTunes, all good stores.
You get that coin, guys. You get that. Well, loved it, guys. We'll all be tuning in. If you want to like and subscribe us on the Sun Showbiz YouTube for all the latest CBB gossip, we'll see you next time.